Hi, so welcome to this video. Again, another camera review. This is one of the more recent purchases that I've made. Again, just can't stop buying cameras. This is a camera that was severely underrated when it came out, and is severely underrated now. I know it has its problems occasionally, but for all intents and purposes, it's still a phenomenal camera. And that is the Nikon FA, which, yeah, I bought one. So the FA was manufactured from 1983 until 1987, so only a 4-year run. When it was released, the Nikon F3 was top dog. It was the pro camera at the time, and then when this came out, this was actually an amateur camera, the most advanced amateur camera, which Nikon marketed as the techno camera, and in a lot of ways it was superior to the F3, and in a lot of ways this is sort of the precursor to the majority of Nikon cameras now, to modern Nikon cameras, even sort of the film ones, but severely underrated. Not really sure why. There was a lot of things going on at the time. I mean, the FE and the FE2 were great cameras, but if you're going for technology, yeah, this is still a solid camera to get. For starters, it's about the same size as an FM or an FM2, so quite small, quite light, but it's fully electronic. It won't work without batteries in it. You'll get 250th of a second as a mechanical shutter, and that's it. No metering, nothing like that. So I guess you could use it manually, but why would you? So this camera was special and is special because it is the first Nikon camera with full matrix metering. So it's the 5-segment metering system, and we'll cover the whole frame. It was the first to do that. It was the first Nikon camera to have full matrix metering, and that was quite interesting because at the time the F3 had center-weighted metering and spot metering, but no matrix metering. They must have known that technology was advancing at such a rate that their amateur level camera had to supersede their pro camera at the time, which says something about the rate of technology, to be honest. But this will matrix meter better with AI lenses and AIS lenses. It will meter more accurately than most other Nikon cameras. I know that the F4, when you put an AI lens on there, will drop down to center weighted. When you put an AI or AIS lens on the F5, it dropped down to center weighted. Not sure about the F6, never even seen one, but yeah, even modern DSLRs, if you put a manual lens on them, the metering on them isn't as accurate. I mean, it will meter in full matrix, but in theory, this will meter more accurately. This is also noted as having, one of the most reliable metering systems for long exposures. So you've got all 4 of the traditional modes, well, modern modes. So full program, camera will do everything for you in order to get a good exposure. Shutter priority, which I don't use, and aperture priority, which I use quite a lot, and full manual. So you've got the full range, which is nice. What more do you need? But this camera, I can't remember how it's referred to. I think it's an open-ended shutter. So there's no limit, whereas digital cameras now, or even some of the film cameras, the shutter will only stay open for a maximum of up to 30 seconds, I think it is, unless you program it to go longer. But with this camera, if it needs a shutter speed of an hour, it will stay open for an hour. If it needs a shutter speed of 3 days, it will stay open for 3 days. It will stay open for as long as it needs to, until the batteries die, basically. So for long exposures, phenomenal. It will work with all lenses that are f-mount, not Z lenses, and at the moment I've got the little 50mm 1.8 E series, which is it's an alright lens. I mean, for the size, I kind of want it for basic lightweight camera, so it does that. I also got a 50 1.4 with this, which is what you're watching me through, which is also a nice lens, does the job. It's got a little bit of fungus in it, but it doesn't bother me. I have cameras to use, not to keep in pristine condition. But yeah, back to the FA. You've got Ttl metering. I haven't tried it because I don't know I think it'll only work with Nikon flashes, and I'm too tight to afford Nikon flashes. But it will, yeah, TTL meter, ISO range from 12 to, well, it's 3200 plus a little bit. Exposure compensation, +2, -2. It's got the lovely feature. It's probably one of my favourite Nikon features, this. I don't know why I like it so much, but just because of the pure simplicity of it. That is so simple, but it's the on switch on these is just, it's on. It's so mind-bogglingly simple that it kind of makes me sad that film advances aren't a thing anymore, or that this isn't the mechanism on a Nikon now where you can just click it on the back. Is crazy. But yeah, the main reason that I bought this camera was because I've ordered an Instant Magni 35 back from Nim Labs. I can never know if that's right or not, but I've ordered a back from them, which is the Instax Square. It's an Instax Square back for classic Nikon cameras, so FM2, FM, FE, FE2 and FA. So basically that'll be, take the back off, put this instant back on. Sadly they don't make it for the F5, which is understandable because it's a weird one and it has buttons on it, but that was why I bought this, was to use it with the instant back. Now I don't have the instant back yet, but hopefully that should be coming in the next couple of weeks, and I'm very excited to use that. With the meter, you have matrix metering on all the time, basically. There's a little switch down here which you can push in and turn, and you get a little red indicator. Don't know if you're going to be able to see this. There's a little red indicator here, and basically the red indicator tells you that it's in center weighted metering. So for backlit subjects, very useful, but generally just keep it in matrix metering. There's no reason not to. Self timer, never use it, never take pictures myself. Depth of field preview here. I think for pre-AI lenses that would be how you'd meter them with this. So you'd stop them down and then get the meter in from that. In the viewfinder you've got, instead of having a plus and minus like you would with the Nikon FM, so a little red light, you've got a small LCD window at the top. So it would be here in the frame. There's a small LCD window. I'll try and get a video of it, but basically that will tell you what shutter speed you're using. Yeah, that will tell you what shutter speed you're using. It also, there's a small light for if you've got a flash, and tells you when the flash is ready, and you can also see the aperture up in the viewfinder as well. So you will also, when you first start a roll, it won't let you take a picture. It won't meter fully for a picture until you advance to frame 1. It will just shoot at 250th of a second, which is just a mechanical shutter, and I think it's just a method of preserving battery life. But yeah, I normally, when I start a roll, I will try and find things that I can meter for 250th of a second, and just try and get extra rolls on the film, just because I'm cheap. I can't show you the inside because I've got a roll of film here at the moment. Pretty sure it's colour, I'm not quite sure. 400 ISO, so I think it's colour, I think it's Ultra Max. But you've got titanium vertical shutter, so not horizontal, which basically means you can get fast flash sync speed. So on this it's 250th of a second, which is nice. I don't use flash much, maybe I should. Also have this weird little grip at the front, which, yeah, it's kind of pointless because there's no reason to have it off. A small piece of plastic that sits on the front here and juts out a little bit, so this, and it makes it feel like a more comfortable camera. It is a more comfortable camera, but taking it off, there's just a little screw here, you take it off, and yeah, it's kind of, I don't know why you'd use it without the grip. There's just a divot here for the piece of plastic to fit in, and there's the screw hole, so I don't know why you would use it without the grip, because now it just feels not as significant. And the nice thing about it is that it feels more significant. Although, now I think about it, I think you can take this off and you can, for when you're using the MB15, I think it is, which is the motor drive for this, which not only gives you continuous shooting, but will also power the camera if the batteries inside the camera die, which is a very nice feature. The MB12, which is for the FM and FM2, will let you advance the film, but it won't power the camera. So having the ability to power the camera further is nice, but it's you'll essentially double the size of your camera. And for me, this is a travel camera. I know a lot of people will say that it's still quite a big camera, but when you're used to this, yeah, FA, small camera, trust me. Yeah, it's not going to be the smallest camera for everyone, but for me, it's perfect. I can just pop it on a strap and just carry it around, have no problems at all. I'm pretty sure that's everything about the camera. Again, I'm really bad at this. I'm really bad at developing film, so I am literally today sending off film to a lab, and that has got rolls of colour from this and colours from the M3. So by the time you're seeing this, the M3 video hopefully would have already come up. So basically I'm filming this straight after. I'm sending film off today or tomorrow maybe, and I'll see what the pictures are like. Yeah, so when I get those back, I'll pop them up and hopefully they'll appear here. I'll shut up and let you have a look at some of those. So enjoy. So, hope you enjoyed the pictures. I have no idea what they are, again. Very bad at developing film. I think I've got 4 or 5 rolls to send off today, and then a roll of black and white to do as well. So, I am going to be busy. But yeah, hopefully you like the pictures. Hopefully I like them too. Hopefully I found enough that I like. Yeah, that was my overview of the Nikon FA. Thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe if you want, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.